Caring for your camper will not only help your camper look great, but will also extend the lifespan of the products you have installed, and that includes the 18-volt awning. There's a few things you may already know about caring for this awning, such as cleaning the fabric, but what about the things that you don't know? Let's jump in and find out. If your system continually senses a fault code 1 or fault code 2, you may need to perform a moisture mitigation procedure. You can find that documentation on our support site if you feel confident performing this, or you can contact a service center and they can perform it for you. If you're inspecting your touchpad to see if this procedure has been done, remove your touchpad and harness, and then you can check to see if any liquid tape sealer has been applied to your harness connections. While everything's disassembled, you can check for dielectric grease at your connection, and there should also be some in your control board. Depending on how your RV was put together, your drip rail or your awning rail could have a seam that is in place in the center of your awning or anywhere else. And you'll notice that there's going to be water running from this. That's because it's missing a little bit of seal. As you can see here, there's no seal. And then if you look up in this channel, there was once seal, but it's deteriorated because it wasn't properly maintained. You'll take your 100% silicone seal that's rated for outdoor use, and you'll run a small bead across the bottom, and then again on the top. If you don't like your chunky look of your seal, you can take your glove and a little bit of soapy water and flatten that seal out. This helps it keep it from smearing onto other places on your unit that you don't want it to be. And it really pushes it into that seam to keep it from dripping down the side of your unit. After a period of time of camping, there can be debris that gathers along your awning's arm assembly or on top of your fabric. Before you close that assembly, you'll want to make sure that you move all of this debris out of your awning to prevent damage and to keep your awning clean from any dirt or debris that has gathered. Because if this arm assembly closes around any debris, it can damage the assembly and you will have to replace the entire arm. If you're going around your camper performing maintenance procedures and you start lubricating specific hardware on your other products, you may wonder to yourself, what can you lubricate on your awning? Well, you'll only want to really lubricate this hardware that's exposed to elements to protect it from that rain or water damage. You can use that quick lube on these outer hardware, or you can use a quick dry silicone. But if you are lubricating this arm assembly, you will not want to lubricate this pitch hinge. That is because this is a friction pitch hinge, and the way that works is by rubbing together. So if you add a lubricant into that, it will create less friction, and your joint is less likely to hold in place. If you notice that any of your paint is chipping away and there's any rust starting to build up, you can clean the area and then use a rust inhibiting spray paint on this arm assembly, but be sure not to make contact with the hardware or the movable joints because it can seize those joints and your awning will no longer work. Part of caring for your camper is making sure that everything stays cleaned and maintained. Let's go over how to clean the awning fabric on your camper. A few things that you'll need on hand to be able to perform the cleaning of your fabric is a ladder, a 5-gallon bucket, a measuring cup, a soft bristle brush, dish soap, a hose, and access to water. To begin this procedure, you'll take your 5-gallon bucket, fill it with water, warm water if you have access to that, add a 1/4 cup of that dish soap, mix it thoroughly, and then take it to your awning. When you're ready to apply the mixture, you'll fully extend your awning. And then you'll use your soft bristle brush to apply the mixture to the top side of the awning. Once that mixture is applied, you will retract your awning so that the mixture will apply itself to the underside of the awning. Let the awning sit in the retracted position for 5 minutes. Then open the awning back up and rinse with a garden hose. Make sure that your awning is fully dried before the final retraction. If you're not satisfied with how clean your awning is with the process being done one time, you can repeat this as many times as you need to remove that excess buildup. While you're inspecting your awning, you may notice damage across the fabric. You can order a fabric repair kit from Lippert, and that repair kit will come with the Vibratight hole repair, the awning fabric adhesive for seam repair, and the Ultra Mark paint marker for scratch repair. Let's go over how to use these things and repair each damage. The paint marker is used to repair any scratches that you can find throughout your awning's fabric. Use the paint marker and you blend the scratch in with the fabric so that you can no longer see it. Another kind of damage that can happen to your awning are pinholes or small holes in the fabric that will allow water to drip onto your patio area. For that, we recommend using the Vibratight that comes in your awning fabric repair kit. And with just 2 or 3 drops, you can fix holes 1/8 of a size or smaller. And if it's any larger than that, we would recommend contacting our approved contractor, Fibrenew, and once you contact them, they can fix larger holes on this vinyl fabric. One repair that you might need to perform on your awning fabric is the seam repair. This seam right here at our roll tube has started to separate. Now the separation can happen not only at the roll tube, but also at your awning rail. If this tear is larger than 6 inches, you'll want to replace your awning fabric. We've fully extended the awning to show this seam, and we've tied our awning down to give our fabric a little bit of slack. And now we'll take our awning fabric adhesive and add a good bead of the adhesive along the seam. And you can either use any standard clamp. For us, since the seam tear is so small, we can use this alligator clip. With our clamp in place, we'll let that dry for at least 4 hours before operating our awning again. You'll want to make sure there's pressure on it for at least a few minutes before removing the pressure to give that adhesive time to repair that seam.